Hey, it's Darla. Have you ever noticed that sometimes it's easier to work harder than it is to trust more? This is an exact statement out of one of my clients' mouths on a call we had recently. And I thought, that is just so true. You've captured this idea so perfectly. So I see this all the time as a coach working with successful entrepreneurs to become more sourced in their leadership. In other words, to pause, to tune in, and to hear with clarity the direction spirit is wanting them to go, rather than their ego or the chatter in their mind, right? Coming from external sources that have predefined for us what success looks like, which often isn't the same as what success looks like within your heart, within your soul. And yet we often don't hear this information that's always readily available because of our programming and because of the layers of energy that are just stuck and stored physically in our body and in our surroundings that keep us from accessing our guidance. Now, one of the biggest things that happens with my clients is they mistake their feeling of stuckness for a feeling of laziness, or like they're not doing enough, right? And so then they start working harder and working harder and working harder. Let me just do a little more. Let me put myself out there. Let me be seen more. Only the more they're coming from this pushing and striving energy, the less they're seen, right? Because we tend to move past that kind of thing in our feed. So why do we do this? Why do we keep from pausing, tuning in, and hearing our spiritual guidance? Because typically our spiritual guidance, I shouldn't say typically, but often our spiritual guidance will run contrary to our identity, to who we know ourselves to be, to this idea of who we are that we've carefully crafted for the world. Our guidance might cause us to question that. When I was about 4 years into running my business, I got a clear message that I was meant to date women. And this was not something I had considered. It wasn't a part of my identity. And I actually thought, because I was working with business owners to help them be in alignment with the truth of who they were, I thought, I'm gonna have to close my business because I've been living a lie. And yet that obviously wasn't true. But this information, this guidance that who I am looks different than how I thought I should be growing up, how I was raised, what I was trained for, what was acceptable. And because it was outside of that, I didn't even know it was there. So here I am going through life. I'm in alignment. I help people get in alignment. And then all of a sudden, out of left field comes this new identity. And so for many, many years, instead of kind of looking over there, I talk about it as we have this something hidden from our view, right? Instead of looking over there, I stayed over here working harder. And I produced a lot, and it was awesome, and so much worked about that, right? And so sometimes working harder is easier than looking over here at the thing we really need to see that's really going to free us to be fully who we are. Working harder can be easier, and that's exactly what this client meant. In our work of becoming sourced, we have to pause, we have to tune in, we have to sit with the level of discomfort that naturally bubbles up when we're looking to see ourselves at a level we've never seen before. Do it right now. And just feel what you feel. Feel what you feel in your body, what comes up? Do you want to click away? Do you have another tab open? Are you secretly writing an email while you're listening to this video? I get it. I get it. I have been there. I have done each of these things. And that working harder, we might get this temporary reward, right? Like I've crossed it off my list, or maybe I showed up on another podcast interview, or I did another sales call, but was it effective? Did it connect you with right clients who want to buy your transformational magic? Maybe, maybe not. Maybe had you invested that time in yourself and hearing your soul, it would have guided you to the perfect place for those clients to be. So sometimes working harder is easier because we don't have to be with what's really true. Yet, taking the time to be with what's really true is an investment in ease in the long run. And that is the journey of becoming sourced. This is Darla Ledoux. I'd love to hear your experience with this topic. When have you chosen to work harder because staying on that hamster wheel was so much easier than being present with your truth? Or when have you really allowed yourself to stop the hustle, stop the pushing and striving, and allow for Source to show you what's really present so you can be with it and move in alignment with what's true for you? I'd love to hear. Pop it in the comments. Big hugs.